Hello and welcome back to Where Feng Shui Meets Fashion. If you're reading or listening to this before January 29th of 2025, the astrological new year has not officially begun. So please don't give up on 2025. The energy is about to shift. And while I can't promise that it will be all rainbows and roses, a shift is coming. And the year of the snake, which officially begins on January 29th, will be very different than the year of the dragon. This is also a 9-year numerologically. So think completions and the end of a 9-year cycle. So a snake year will invite us to shed that which no longer serves us. This past year has been a wood dragon year. I looked it up, and all of the different kinds of dragons, which include wood, water, fire, metal, and earth, out of all of these dragons, a wood dragon is the least likable or appealing. In Chinese folklore, the wood dragon is described as follows: introverted, less enthusiastic, and lacking in good relationships. All the other dragons or dragon years are super positive with adjectives like smart, ambitious, and hardworking, easygoing, agile, and flexible, persevering, farsighted, and vigorous. What the fuck? Oh well, it is almost over. I think most of us can agree that astrologically, romance was at an all-time low over the last year. Chiron, the wounded healer and astrologer, was in Aries, which represents men, in 2024. I personally took the year off from dating. However, I am enthusiastic about 2025. It's going to be a yin year, so more about being receptive. And the year of the snake will be about setting realistic goals, devising strategic plans, and working towards our dreams. So Feng Shui has many different schools of thought and approaches. However, as far as I'm concerned, all roads lead to Rome. And while my training was originally in form school, which is the first school of Feng Shui before all of the directional practices emerged, I do pull from directional practices as needed, as well as Chinese astrology. I predominantly look at a space as its own universe that begins at the entrance. However, I have adapted my practice to consider your best directions. And when it comes to where you sit, sleep, and spend most of your time, I do look at that. I also now address the yearly shifts in challenging directions. For this reason, I have started asking my clients for their date and year of birth to determine their personal directions. So form school will inform most of like my furniture placement with an emphasis on the power position and good chi flow. I do make adjustments as needed depending on the individual's best directions and whether they conflict with good form, as well as the challenging direction for the individual year. This can get tricky because every year the energies shift, and there's a challenging direction that applies to everyone universally for each year. It could end up being one of your best personal positions or directions, and or where your head is facing when you sleep. It could even be in a dominant area of your home or business. So it really helps to know what area of your home is being impacted and how to remedy it. So yes, there are remedies and protections. So it's not all doom and gloom, just a matter of awareness and adaptation as shifts occur. Much like in astrology, it's a moving target. That is the nature of life. Nothing is static. Highs and lows are based on cycles. What I like about knowing these cycles is that you can use the knowledge to navigate them. So the energy of time that we are currently navigating inspired me to share some ways to make the best of the circumstances we find ourselves in. For context, I live in LA, where many people are really going through it due to the massive fires. I am personally safe and in a part of LA that was not directly impacted. I thought it would be helpful, to share what the universally challenging direction is for 2025 and how to navigate that. The official Chinese Lunar New Year is on January 29th, so you do have time to prepare and perhaps even hire a Feng Shui consultant now or later in the year to help you. Tip number 1, make sure to note the direction, the negative direction for 2025. They call this energy the Grand Duke in Feng Shui. And in 2025, it is southeast between 135 and 165 degrees of your compass. The idea is to avoid facing this direction for extended periods of time. Don't worry, you will not burst into flames should you mistakenly face southeast. But just like you won't die of lung cancer after smoking, one cigarette, you do want to minimize your exposure though. And by the way, southeast was also the negative direction for 2024 by the following degrees: 105 to 135. Listen, I did not immediately embrace a directional approach. It took some experimentation, and I personally noticed when I stopped spending loads of time facing my challenging direction or the challenging direction and placed a protection facing that direction, my personal challenges cleared up. And while my experience is anecdotal, it is backed by thousands of years of wisdom and many other anecdotal examples. I also believe in astrology. And I recognize that there are cycles of change influenced by planetary shifts beyond the mundane. So I have made it my business to adapt these shifts and help my clients find cures and enhancements to navigate these energies. So Feng Shui is a practice that's over 5,000 years old, and many of its lessons and cures are passed down, though not only the written word, but also through oral tradition. So you're not necessarily going to find everything in books and articles, and the knowledge and teachings are endless and nuanced, and much of it is considered sacred and not to be shared frivolously. There was a time when only kings and queens had access to this knowledge or these teachings. And I have taken the time to pull together some of the universally helpful tips for you. I feel very protective of the art of Feng Shui. It's often misunderstood, misrepresented, and misinterpreted. I can see how, since it's not cut and dry like, say, interior design or architecture, while both of those play a role in Feng Shui, they're not Feng Shui. Feng Shui is neither. And what I can tell you is that Feng Shui is one of the 5 branches of Chinese medicine. And as such, it's actually a diagnostic tool. I can walk into someone's home and literally read the room. Some places scream, "Get out." Some say, "Welcome home." They are all telling you something about their inhabitants, though. You can learn about their love lives, health, wealth, etc. It's a truly beautiful physical language. So it is often the individual practitioner's level of training, years of experience, and personal approach that truly brings the Feng Shui cures and practices to life. Ultimately, though, it's the client themselves who plays the most important role based on their desire to implement the recommendations and truly be in relationship with their own environment. There is a sacred energetic exchange between the practitioner and the client. It's meant to be a healing practice. In my enthusiasm and passion for Feng Shui, I have at times offered or even blurted out unsolicited feng shui advice, and it's always bitten me in the ass. So I have learned my lesson over time and realized it was ineffectual and served no one. So, should the exchange not contain reciprocity and respect, whether that comes in the form of payment, an exchange of services, or at the bare minimum, a genuine gratitude or appreciation of the shared wisdom, then the cures and adjustments won't be as effective. This is an energy practice, after all, and it has to flow both ways. So, tip number 2, cleanliness is close to godliness. The year of the snake begins on January 29th, and New Year's Eve is January 28th. It's said that if you sweep or do major cleaning on New Year's Day, the 29th, you sweep away your blessings. So ideally, you want to clean before the official New Year. New Year's Eve is fine, or the days leading up are ideal for a deep cleanse and organization of your home. Clean like you're hosting royalty. Okay, in my last podcast, I shared an orange activation and cure, and today I'm sharing an orange house blessing that is ideal for the new year. You'll notice this cure uses water, which is the element LA is currently deficient in. Okay, so this is tip number 3. The Feng Shui orange peel blessing ceremony is used to remove negative qi or energy and return balance and harmony into an individual room or entire home. This is a perfect reboot for your home in honor of the new year. The orange peel blessing is great for clearing a new home, if you're moving into a new home, of predecessor energy. You can also use this remedy in a home after illness, a period of depression, or arguing, and to remove residual negative energy from guests. So for this ceremony, you would need 3 oranges, fresh oranges, water, a glass bowl, and fresh flowers. So you start by peeling the oranges and breaking them into 9 pieces each for 27 total pieces. You place the pieces in a bowl and cover them with hot water for about 3/4 full. As you are peeling the oranges, state your intention for the ceremony in the form of an affirmation, such as, with this ceremony, I remove all negativity and replace it with positive qi. Take the bowl of oranges in the water to the front door, and if you're cleaning the entire home or the entrance of the home, that needs to be remedied. Starting at the entrance, flick your ring and middle fingers from the palm with the sprinkled water around the rim. As you're flicking the water, repeat what is called the 6 true words, pronounced Om Mani Padme Hum, or another affirmation mantra or prayer of your choosing. Visualize all the negative energy and bad luck leaving, as well as positive energy filling up the space. Be sure to move around all 9 bagua areas and include all the closets. After you've completed the ceremony for the first space, move to all the other rooms as necessary and repeat the process. When you're done, you want to pour the water out and either throw away the orange peels or grind into the disposal. Do not reuse the water for another ceremony or anything else. You can eat the oranges as a celebration of all the positive new energy that you have attracted. Then you want to open all the doors and windows to let in the fresh qi. Place fresh flowers in a central location, say your living room, of the home or room, and replace the flowers every 3 days for a total of 9 days, with the final bouquet remaining until the flowers wilt. I hope this ceremony brings blessings to all that read or listen to this, especially my LA neighbors. So during this whole fire fiasco, I have spent my time solely indoors. I have been fastidiously organizing donations, cleaning my home, preparing and activating cures for the coming year, and I feel truly blessed to have been safe and eager to do all that I can to be helpful. Whether it's donations, researching and writing this piece, I just want to be helpful. I believe the silver lining to the LA tragedy is the coming together of community. LA is shedding a skin and will emerge a new and improved city. It almost feels like a communal spiritual awakening or transformation. So I want to spread healing energy, comfort, and optimism. Many blessings, my friends, and ciao for now.